Hello everyone, welcome back to another Transformers review of a type. Now, as you can see, I've got a little package here. Now, this isn't something that I've just brought. This is to show an example. Now, in some of my G1 reviews in the past, I've had comments saying that almost like boxes look too fresh, or some of my stuff reissues, stuff like that. And this is kind of an example of how, for want of a better word, how anal I was as a kid in how I used to keep sort of some of my stuff. This is from my youth. Now, from the title you probably will obviously already know what's in here, but if I show you there's the original sticker. And I'm guessing it was from a catalogue. I don't think that's an Argos sticker, but you can see it's on there. And if I open this, now this hasn't been opened for probably over 20 years, so let's take it out and you'll see what I mean about how I used to keep my stuff. I'll pop the box down there. There you go. Now obviously there are a couple of creases where obviously I've put the box in and out in the past. If I stand that up, I'll just lift the camera up slightly so you can see it. Yes, it looks like a new box, but it is rather old. I'm just going to see if I can find a date on there for you. Oh yes, 1984 I believe it's got down there, yes, 1984. So this is from the first year of G1. Yeah, it looks in good nick, and obviously, like I say, I kept a lot of my stuff in this state, which is why a lot of my G1 toys do still look in good nick. As you can see, this is pretty much a good description of what is within here. You've basically got well, they call it a design centre. You can't really design much with it, but there's a few little gimmicky bits, and this did stand in for my G1 soundwave, because as it is ironic with the way I get stuff from boot fairs, when I was younger, probably about 18 years old, something like that, I actually went to a boot fair, and that is where my G1 soundwave came from. That wasn't mine from new as a gift or anything like that. So this guy was my sort of stand-in for G1 soundwave up until that point. Yeah, I mean, pretty much there's not a lot to say about the box. It just gives you basic pictures of it. I'll open it up and show you what's inside. This is basically what you ended up with. Now, first of all, of course, you've got a basic set of instructions, which again just show you sort of some of the features and how to assemble the actual design centre. Now, you've got the basic parts. You've got a lovely Decepticon compass, which is quite fun. You've got a couple of little grey feet, which are obviously Soundwave's feet, but have to come off to be put away. You get the lower half of the design centre, which again, as you can see, is based on G1 Soundwave. You get an upper part, which is effectively his lower legs, and again where the feet go, and you get a sort of pantograph, which is pretty sort of standard stuff for this kind of kit. I'll sort of give you a rough idea of how it works in a minute. Now I get the box to one side. Now there would have been a couple of pens with this as well, but they've obviously been used and have disappeared over the years. But now inside here are all the plates. Now I'll put this to one side for a minute as well. Now you get several, actually there's one I've done earlier when I was younger, You get several plates with impressions of G1 Autobots and Decepticons. So you've got Prowl there, and that's if you place the paper over the top and rub it with, I suppose, a crayon at the time or a pen, you can trace out G1 Prowl. And then of course I suppose that's like a sticky label, so you could then stick it on something. So quite fun. And in the back you get an imprint of Prowl's vehicle mode. With some of the others, let's see, you've got G1 Soundwave of course, which is lovely, and his cassette deck mode on the back. Pretty basic on the rear ones, but quite nice detailed pictures on the front. You get a white one, which is G1 Prime, if I can get that to sort of show up. There, okay, that's better. Yeah, pretty good. And again, vehicle mode, basic truck mode. You then get the frame for which they got to sit in. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I will refer to the instructions myself. Like I say, I've opened this for God knows how many years. Yeah, what I thought it was, you lower the Soundwave body down, lower the camera a little bit so you can see this a bit better, and you put the bottom piece inside there, and that just sits in. You then choose whichever one, in this case Prime, to sit in there. I think that's as low down as it's going to go. Is that right? These are a bit fiddly. And of course I haven't done this in quite a few years. And then you pop the frame on, and then the idea was that you could then put the piece of paper in the top, something like so, inside underneath that frame as well. And then the only piece that I can so far see that I'm seriously missing is there was a small plastic thing held like a crayon in the bottom, and you could rub it backwards and forwards to get the impression. Strange thing is I don't really remember having that bit, so whether that was ever missing, I don't know. Now another side of it is also that you could put the piece of paper, if you open up like Soundwave's chest, there it is. It's inside. So that is the thing for doing the rubbing impressions. And there's some more bits of the original bits of paper in there. Let's see if I can get any of these out. There's one, now that's more what the rubbing's like. I've done one of Soundwave in the past. Not that great, as you can see. If I slide that piece out, I should be able to get some more of these out. Some unused ones. So I didn't exactly play with this a lot. Come out. I might have to use the Decepticon compass to give me a hand here. And they're wedged quite firmly in there. Obviously I had smaller fingers in those days. Another one where I've tried to do the G1 Prowl. Soundwave obviously came out fantastically. Let's get these bits out. I think they're just plain bits of paper anyway. I don't think these have been done. No, they haven't. So there again, some of the original bits of paper still in there. Now the idea was, other than that being storage, that you used to put, use the Prowl one as an example, you put that piece there and clip that shut, and then you use, if I can then refer to the, that's it, refer to this, you clip this red section here, which has got like a, almost like a bar, what needs to clip in, that has to clip in to this piece here. Now that is the wrong way up, so why is that like that? I wonder. All of these parts sort of interchange with each other, which is another reason this is a little bit confusing as such at the moment. that needs to go, hold on, that needs to go that way, that's why it's back to front. So you clip that end into this piece up here, and then what you do, if I can find one to hand, get a pen, what you do is you then put a pen or pencil in there and you push that ring down to tighten it on. It's not working too well, I would need a thicker pen really. And then as you move the needle round the figure here, it would transfer the detail onto the back piece of paper. And there's also a spare one of these, which I believe is also used to help tighten that up as well. I wonder. No, not on that one. I know there are two ways of doing this. If I maybe show you the instructions, it might become a little bit clearer, a little bit easier for you to understand. So you're basically forming that, and then by following the trace on the lower half, you're then drawing it on the upper panel. Obviously I can't really demonstrate that too well because I don't want to muck up the prowl picture I've put in there, but yeah, that's the basic idea, and then you can peel it off and use it as a sticker. So a little bit of fun. As I say, you've got, oh again, this is where this other part comes in. That helps tighten up if you was putting a pen or a pencil into the compass. So you can put it in, and as you push it in, that tightens up, so you can then use the compass itself, which isn't that great because really it should turn on that side as well, but it's a good bit of fun anyway. What other bits? Well, main part, you pull his head off and you've got a ruler with a very typical G1 soundwave head on the end. You take, which sounds painful, you take his right arm off, and inside there you've got a pencil sharpener, which you just stick the pencil in there, and that can just be pushed back on. And on this side, on his, I'll take this back off, on this side you can pull his forearm off, and inside you've got possibly the worst pair of scissors known to man. I doubt they cut paper. I've got an old receipt here. Let's try it on a piece of paper. Yeah, that's not going to cut anything. That's not even hardly creased bit of paper. So yeah, they were pretty childproof scissors, being that they're not actually sharp. Kind of defeats the object of a pair of scissors, of course. Anyway, that is basically what it does. Not the greatest of Transformer type items, I will grant you, but like I say, a good bit of fun if you're into your G1 sort of collecting memorabilia and all that sort of thing. And of course, like I say, when properly assembled, like so, and of course you stick his feet in, and then just popping his head back down. He didn't do a passable impression of G1 Soundwave, so yeah, I mean, like I say, not something I obviously used a great deal as far as being what it's designed for as a design centre, but he was my stand-in Soundwave for quite a few years, and pretty nice anyway. Nice bit of detailing. I like the way they've done the chrome to look like Laserbeak in his chest and that as well, and they've done reasonable representations of the original G1 stickers as well on his knees and arms. So yeah, I like it anyway. Wouldn't pay a fortune for it if you was going to collect one now. They're not worth a great deal because simply for the fact it's not a lot of practical use. Unlike most other sort of figures, he's probably based more on G1 in the fact he's got zero articulation other than the fact he can bend his elbow on one arm and spin his arms at the shoulder, which to be fair there are G1s but probably aren't even able to do that, so he's got one up on some of them anyway. But yeah, I thought I'd give you a little look at the G1 Transformers Design Centre. Like I say, just a bit of fun and a bit of a G1 oddity that you don't see that often, especially not complete anyway, so I'm quite pleased that I did happen to have those other bits knocking around in there, only short of a black and a red pen by the look of it, but of course that's easily remedied. You can always just swap them out for another felt tip. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this little review, and I shall see you again for another Transformers review. Thanks for watching.